Hello and welcome to my show Indus Cuisine. I'm your chef Basim Akhund. We're back with another new episode and a new recipe from the heart of Pakistan. Today's recipe is very interesting and it dates back to the partition of Pakistan, which happened in 1947. Before that, the British Raj, or one could say the East India Company, used to rule Pakistan, or the subcontinent, which is now India and Pakistan both. After the partition, a lot of Muslims from the Indian occupied subcontinent came towards the Pakistan occupied subcontinent, and these people usually came and settled to the coastal city of Karachi, also known as Karachi back in the day. A certain group of these people were also called as the Memons, and the Memons are still to date the most advanced and the most business-minded people in Pakistan, and they hold the highest offices in the business world or the economic world of Pakistan. The ladies of these families were very good cooks and very good chefs. Why? Because in their family they used to share different recipes they used to come across whenever they used to go travel for their business. So this recipe basically originated from Burma. It's also known as Burmese KHOW SUEY, but when the Memons came to Karachi, the women of those families brought this recipe to our city, Karachi, and this recipe became one of the most famous recipes throughout the region of Pakistan. This recipe is very interesting, and what are the ingredients, I'll let you know. And the great part about this recipe is it's a recipe in which we use spaghetti. Yes, you've heard it right, that this recipe involves pasta in it, and it is, you could say it is a very famous recipe of Pakistan, and personally I love it, and I've cooked this recipe for so many people on my dinners, the dinners I keep at my house, and everyone thinks that this is a star dish. Do try it at home and I bet you would like it. And why? Because it's so easy, you can do it within a few minutes, but I'll take you step by step through it, so just follow each and everything. So first, what are the ingredients we need? So in the vegetables you'll be needing 2 onions, or if you have a large onion you could use 1. Then you need 2 tomatoes, you need some mint and coriander leaves, which will go in the end with the pomegranate seeds. This is fresh pomegranate, which I'll keep on the side. And then the other ingredients that you need are, you need some oil, around 4 to 5 tablespoons. You need some ginger, garlic, lemon juice, which we shall use towards the end. Then you need some gram flour. Then you need turmeric powder, coriander powder, red chili powder, salt to taste, around 400 grams of boneless chicken. I'm using the breast piece. You need around 500 ml of water, and this, as you can see, it's really creamy. I'll just shake it in front of you. This is fresh coconut milk. If you can't find fresh coconut milk, what you could do is also you could get some coconut powder, which is actually just like any milk which you can add to the water, and you can convert it into coconut milk. So these are all the ingredients, and then you need a packet of spaghetti. So what we shall do is first we shall start cooking this recipe. For that, what we need is we need the spaghetti to be boiled. So what I'll do is I'll pick up a wok, I'll add some water in it, and I'll leave it to boiling. But before that, let's just get ready with all the other ingredients, which are, we need a pan, and that pan should come to heat, and once that pan is on heat, we shall add some oil and start cooking. So first you need an onion. We'll use 2 small onions. Why? Because this recipe requires, actually, you could say 1 onion, which should be a large one, but if you can't find a large onion, you can use 2 small onions. Just make a cut on it and keep it on the side. We shall finally chop these onions, and we should add them to the pan till the time they get translucent. Remember, translucent, you do not have to brown these ingredients. Why? Because we want the onion to taste nice and soft, not too bitter. This is done, and just finally chop it. Keep the root on the side. If you would like, you could even convert it into a paste, but the problem is if you start converting the onion into a paste, you shall add some water, and then that water takes some time to evaporate, and apart from that, it does also compromise with the flavor, which for this recipe I wouldn't like. Why? Because it will get too watery, and otherwise also the flavor of the onion would get a bit less. Okay, so throw the roots away, the pan is hot, add the oil in it, and let the onions get translucent first. So the oil is in. Just move it a bit, add the onions, and let it get soft. We shall add around just a pinch of salt right now to bring out the moisture so that the onions can get nice and soft. Reduce the heat to low and give it a lid. If you do not give the onions a lid, what will happen is they'll start getting brown much more quicker. Okay, this is done. Now what you need is you need ginger and garlic to be shredded. So I'll take around 4 cloves of garlic and some ginger. First we shall just go in with the garlic and then we shall do the ginger. So 4 cloves of garlic, finely shredded. Why? Because you do not want it to come in your mouth. Why? Because then the texture changes and that's not what you would like. So the garlic is done. A little bit of ginger. And we're done. Okay, pull it if you can feel some ginger at the back, and as you can see there's a lot of ginger. Take the roots out and throw it on the side. Keep this here, and now as you can see the onions are nice and translucent. Do not cook them further. Why? Because then the color will change. I shall just pass my knife through this, scoop it and transfer it into the pan. Tilt it, mix it in the oil. Why? Because you'll get a deep frying effect. And this is done. Okay, so what we shall do is give it a lid and let it cook. Whatever you've used, just shift it on the side. Now I would require another board. I'll take a red board and I'll keep it here. The red board comes here. You need the chicken, so what we shall do is slit it open, take it out and keep it over here. The chicken is washed. Always remember to dry the chicken before you start using it. Why? Because you do not want the wet chicken to be in the pan. Okay, so there's an undercut also in the chicken which is over here. This is the most tender part of the meat. I'll take it out. You can see it's just falling apart like this, but I'm just guiding my knife through. I'll keep it on the side and I'll chop that in the end. Now, firstly what you need to do is make thin slices and keep it on the side. Now you won't cut it in the conventional way. What you need to do is, your knife is usually straight, right? I'm going to tilt it and I'm going to cut it and pull it aside. Why? Because this will give the chicken a very nice texture. Cut is also very important, remember this. And usually if you see people cooking their Thai cuisine, this is what they'll do. You can see it curving a bit, and this is what you want for the chicken. So I'll do all of it in front of you so that you get an idea of it. Just keep your knife like this and pull it like towards your right, remember it. But for this your knife needs to be really, really sharp. If you have a blunt knife, try making it sharp before and then use it. And you can't go really fast with this, because if you go too fast the knife could slip, and that is one thing you wouldn't like. Okay, so the chicken is being cut. I won't be using the undercut because the texture of this is different than the other chicken and I do not want to mess up with the whole dish. Okay, just cut it like this. The tip of your knife needs to be on the chicken and you need to push it down and then pull the chicken on the side. Quickly. Okay, when you boil the spaghetti, remember you want to keep this bite in the spaghetti. Why? Because when you will add the hot sauce on top, what will happen is it will also give it some more temperature, and if you overcook the spaghetti, what will happen is it will start getting really mushy. Okay, this is done. So as you can see, the chicken is ready. I transferred it into a bowl. I've kept it on the side, changed the bowl, washed my knife, and I've kept the onions on the side. So now what you need is you need some tomatoes. First of all, you won't be cooking the chicken in the oil. Why? Because the texture will change. We will boil it in the coconut milk, and the normal milk we'll be pouring in this, because it's a curry-based recipe which shall give a nice texture to the whole end product. Okay, this is done. Finally, chop the tomatoes and chop them as close as you can. Why? Because the finer you chop them, the better texture you shall get of the recipe. So as you can see, the tomatoes are done. I shall just add them to the pan. Keep it on the side. Increase the heat and mix it up. add around 2 pinches of salt and let it cook and start mixing this. Spread the tomatoes out so that they can get a chance to fry properly. Give it a lid, reduce the heat to medium and let it cook for 5 to 6 minutes till they're really soft. So till the time this is cooking, what we'll do is we shall add some water over here and then we shall bring it to boil. When the pan comes to heat properly, then add water to it, around 1 liter. When it comes to boil, we shall add the spaghetti into it. So till the time this is cooking, you can go for a short break, and once we're back, I'll let you know what to do. Keep watching Indus Cuisine. Welcome back. You're watching Indus Cuisine and I'm your chef Basim Akhund. We were just cooking for you and I just took a break, and during the break I just did one thing. Whatever was over here, I transferred it into a ramekin, and now we shall convert this beautiful flavor into a paste. So I've just put my food processor over here, transfer all of this into this, and obviously when you shall mix it, you need something in it. So what I'll do is I shall add some of the coconut milk in it. So add half a cup right now, and the rest will be added later on. And with this, what you should do is you should add like 1 teaspoon of the gram flour. And why should you add that? I shall let you know. When you add the gram flour, wherever you put milk and you boil it, and if you have something bitter in it, the milk will not separate and it will hold it together. So always remember that. Give it a lid and process it properly. And as you can see, it's converted into a nice paste. On the other hand, the water over here has boiled properly. What I'll do is I shall transfer the spaghetti into it. I shall just take the cling wrap off and transfer it over there. Do not break the spaghetti, put it whole. But remember, whenever you're boiling spaghetti, the water needs to be salted like the sea, so that the flavor of the salt can be properly balanced in each and every strand of the spaghetti. Okay, so this goes in. I'll just slide it in like this. Increase the heat to full and slowly start mixing it. Why? What will happen is the spaghetti won't stick first, and the other thing is it will start getting soft and it will settle in the pan. You just need to boil the spaghetti for 7 to 8 minutes. Once it comes to boil, remember, do not overboil it. Overboiling will lead to the spaghetti getting mushy and the whole texture of the recipe will go down the drain. Okay, so as you can see, I'm moving the spaghetti. I'm moving it for one main reason. Why? Because this way the spaghetti will get water, it will get coated separately and it won't stick then. So I've just shaken it up and this is done. Okay, I shall not give it a lid. I shall let it come to boil, but on medium heat. Okay, till that time, now what you shall do is bring this pan back to heat, and now we shall start cooking. Okay, we shall add the remaining oil I kept on the side, which is around 1.5 tablespoons. Bring it back to heat. The pan was already hot. Just every 2 minutes, keep just shaking the spaghetti like this. Press it so that it doesn't stick together. Why? Because you do not want the spaghetti strands to be muscled up. Okay, it's hot. Now what you should do is transfer this paste over here. Give it a chance to fry. Try not wasting anything. So just take your spatula and boom, you take it out. Keep the jug on the side, mix it up. And this is done. Okay, now you need to add flavor to it. So I just had added like 2-3 pinches of salt. I'll just add a 1/4 teaspoon more, add some red chili powder, some coriander powder, and in the end you shall add the turmeric powder. It's in, mix it up again. As you can see, this is pretty thick. Now you should start diluting it. Always mix the jar once and slowly and gradually add the coconut milk. Do not add all of it together. Why? Because if you add the whole thing together, what will happen is you'll have these lumps in the paste, and that's not what you want. So I'm just slowly tempering it, you could say. And I'm giving the thick paste a chance to dilute. Fold it in. It's a bit time consuming, this part, but this is where the flavor shall come out. So as you can see, I'm continuously mixing it so that there are no lumps remaining in the recipe. So now when you see it properly diluted, you can increase the amount of milk you're adding to the pan. So I've added the coconut milk properly. Leave it on the side. Mix it up again. The paste is ready. Now the only thing you need to do is you need to add the milk. So I shall just cut it and I shall transfer the milk into the wok. Keep this on the side. Increase the heat to full. Just check your pasta over here that it doesn't. And as you can see, the pasta, the spaghetti is cooking. I'm just shaking it a bit. And just give it a lid now for 4 minutes. Okay, this is coming to boil. Now what you need to do is you need to add the chicken into it. So the chicken goes in. You mix the chicken up. Give it a chance to boil in this. And give this a lid. So now I've given it a lid. I'll reduce the heat to really low once it comes to boil, and which it is about to, and then we should let it cook for around 10 minutes on really low heat. So on the other hand, just take a look at the pasta. It's cooking properly. Just mix it up and keep your eye on it. Over here, this has come to boil. As you can see, the sides are like bubbling. So what I'll do is I'll reduce the heat to medium and let it cook for 10 minutes. So till the time this is cooking, what we'll do is we'll clean up, and then I'll show you how to make this very nice dressing I put on the top. As you can see, the curry is ready now. I'll just switch the stove off. It's been 10 minutes. Give it a lid and let it be on the side. On the other hand, the spaghetti is also done. We shall dish it out now. Okay, for that, what you need is first, you need to transfer it into a strainer. I'll keep it over here. And I shall just pick up some tissues so that I don't burn my hand. Okay, just transfer it slowly and drain the water out. The water is out. Pick it up. And now there's this one thing I usually do. What people do is people add some water on top, or they add some oil so that the spaghetti doesn't stick. So when you're adding into a mesh, just keep shaking it like this. I'll come in front of you and I'll show it to you. Keep it like this. Now what will happen is, as you can see these holes, they're a little sharp. So when you start mixing the spaghetti, what happens is it's obviously made of flour. It will start rubbing against the mesh and it will have this nice glossy texture on each and every strand of spaghetti. And when you shall add the sauce on top, it will stick to it, and the flavor and the bite would be more exciting and more delicious, you could say. So just give it like 30 seconds and keep moving it. You could see that the spaghetti is sticking over here. It's sticking because it's bringing out the starch like this. Mix it up, shake it. And this is done. I'll keep it over here. Now the time comes for the sauce. For that, what you need is you need some mint leaves. So just pull the leaves out. And for this, you really need to finely chop it. So I'm just slowly and gradually pulling the leaves, and I'm keeping the stems on the other side. This is a very nice dressing that I serve with this recipe, and it's my personal thing which you should love, and you would, I think, appreciate it. Okay, this is done. Now what you need to do is start chopping the mint leaves. Bring it close. It needs to be really fine, so just give it some time and keep chopping it. This is done. Wipe your blade off, scoop it and pour it in a bowl over here. Scoop it and pour it in a bowl here. Now you need some coriander, not too much, just the green part, and throw the stems on the side. This recipe only requires the leaves on the stems. Fold it and finally chop this also. Clean your blade, rotate it and keep chopping it. This is done. Wipe the board, bring this together and add it over here. And now you need around 2 pieces of lemon. I'll keep it over here. Squeeze the lemon. And throw the pits on the side. This is done. Now what you need is, you need a clean spoon. Mix this up. And add the pomegranate seeds on top. This is done. Scoop it. Doesn't this look delicious? Okay, now I shall start dishing it out and you can see the close look of it. So as you can see, today's recipe is ready. I've cooked for at least 5 people. I've served it in a go. It was delicious. What you need to do is you have a chance to see it in the video also. We added the spaghetti, we added the sauce, we added chicken, and in the end we added the pomegranate and mint and coriander lemon dressing I made. It's a very dear recipe to my heart. It's very close to my heart. I hope you liked today's episode. I'll see you in another episode. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.